And begin. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our live stream. We are, as always, on this week, and today we're going to talk about ways to stop procrastinating and keep your studies moving forward. So, if you don't know, the word procrastinate, so to procrastinate is a verb which means to delay something, to put something off, like to wait until tomorrow or to wait until later to do something. So, I think everybody has probably had a problem with procrastination at some time in their life. But today we're going to talk about some ways that you can stop doing that, especially for your English studies. So some of these are going to be tips. Some of these are going to be ways that you can keep your study motivation up. So they're going to be tips specifically for studying a language. But we're also going to talk about some tips that maybe can be helpful in other parts of your life to keep motivation up and to keep yourself from procrastinating. So I hope that this is a useful lesson in many different ways, just some different ways that you can keep your motivation going. So, that being said, our intro for today, we are loading our Facebook live stream and our YouTube live stream now, and I think we also are getting Twitch, maybe? I don't know. But we have all kinds of things prepared for you today, and of course, some good free stuff too. Facebook, I see you. Facebook is up first today. Great. Arby, hello. Someone from Brazil, Cardoso. I see your last name right now. Hi. Hello. Actually, I can't quite see. Good. Facebook is up. Hello, Facebookers. Welcome. YouTube is coming up next. So we'll begin in just a few moments. I think that we're working on the YouTube chat situation right now. For now, hi. Hello, lots of people from Brazil. Welcome, as always. And I think that we'll take just a little bit more time to get our Facebook chat up. We're experimenting with some new streaming things these days. So good stuff coming on the way in just a second. Okay, but last time, actually, if you joined us last time, we were talking about job interviews. So that was the focus for last time. So maybe one of your goals, I think some of you joined us at the beginning of the year this year, where we talked about New Year's resolutions. So maybe your goal is to get like a new job, for example. This was kind of the theme of the topics. And then maybe as a continuation of that, so in continuing this theme, maybe how can you keep your motivation going? So that's kind of the idea for today. All right, YouTube chat is up. Fantastic. Hi, YouTube. Okay, Facebook's up and YouTube is up. Fantastic. I see the YouTube chat now. Hello from, let's see, Mexico, Cambodia. Hi, May from the Philippines, Marcin from Poland. Gabby from Florida, great. And Marco from Peru, great. From Malaysia. And, someone says go and ask Alicia. Yes, of course, submit questions to ask Alicia. Great, Facebook and YouTube are up. Fantastic. So officially welcome everybody. I see everybody now, so that's great. But let's get started then. I want to, as always, share something from my life, some way that I used, something that might be of interest to you guys. So actually, I have something a little bit special this week. Last week, we were working on something here that you guys, I think, will be interested in. And I tweeted about this, actually. It'll be over here. Something, I know that many of you have this goal of studying English, of course, this year, and like improving your English as a kind of open goal, a broad goal. But this is something that our company just developed and released. And so we shot a video for it last week. So if you use Alexa, like Amazon, this is an Amazon Echo device, which maybe is in this room. But there's a new app. So if you don't know our app, it's called Daily Dose. And there are these like every day you can get like vocabulary lessons and lessons like actual long spoken lessons. But now you can do it all voice controlled through this. So this is really, really cool. You can find this app on the Amazon store now. So definitely check that out if you like. But this is something that I thought This is actually a point we're going to talk about later today. So different ways to help you keep your motivation up. One way is through having a course. All right. So that's just the intro for today. But let's get into our topic, the actual tips for reducing your procrastination. So keeping your motivation up will be today's topic. So let's get into that. As I said at the beginning of the video, today is going to focus on how to keep your motivation for studying a language, but some of these tips will be good for other things in your life too, I hope, maybe new challenges or other goals. So I hope it's useful for you. If you're just joining, make sure to like the video. Please hit the like button if you're on YouTube or you're on Facebook. It's super helpful. Other people will find the video if lots of people like it. So definitely, please help us out. That would be extremely, extremely appreciated. So let's begin today. Let's talk about how to keep your motivation going throughout the year. So it's the end of January. Let's talk about how to keep your motivation going through February, March, and the other months. Okay, so to review, we began this year's live stream series with SMART goals. I talked about SMART goals. You can go back to the first live stream this year about New Year's resolutions if you want to review that. So that's kind of step one for today's lesson. So step one, imagine you have a goal. There's something that you want to do, and I think for many of you that's studying English. So for today, we're going to talk about 3 to 4 tips and 3 to 4 different ways to keep your motivation and to continue your studies. So the first one I want to talk about, maybe you are already doing this, I don't know, but just something that I think that's really helpful for me is registering for a test. So I think I've made it up here, so we'll see some text up here for each of these tips, but one of the things that I think is useful to do is to register for a challenging test. So challenging means beyond your current level of ability. So if you register for a test that you are sure you can pass, that seems really easy for you, it's not going to push you forward so much. So if you're constantly like registering for something that's a little bit higher than the level that you are now, you'll always be able to kind of push yourself forward. So think about like the level you're at now and the level you want to go to, and try to register for a test or work to like take a test or to do an event or something that's at a level slightly more difficult than you're at now. So this is a really good way to like make sure you keep going. I think this is useful. This is useful for me. I use this actually. I use this because I don't like to fail, as I'm sure most of you are the same. But I hate failing. So if I register for a challenging test, I'm motivated to study because I don't want to fail. So this can be a really good way to keep your motivation up, or to keep you studying every day, because you know there's this test in the future. And maybe the test costs money, for example. So this can be a really good way to do that. As far as though, like some people say, well, what test should I take? I don't even know what I should do. There are some really popular or very, I don't know if popular is the right word, but perhaps some common tests that you can think about. Maybe some of you already know about it. There's the IELTS test. That's one that there's, I think, a speaking element involved in that. There's the TOEFL test, which is quite popular, the TOEFL, TOEFL test. And then finally, there is the TOEIC test. So there are a few different tests that test kind of different capabilities, and depending on your country, one test might be more available than the other. But you can take a look. Those are just a few examples of some tests. Of course, in your country, there might be a different test you can register for. But this is kind of our first tip for today, is to register for a challenging test, something that's challenging for you. So given that, it is about time for our first break. So perfect timing today, actually. The team, last week, we introduced it for the first time. But we actually have a PDF cheat sheet, a free downloadable PDF cheat sheet to help you as you prepare for the TOEIC test. So some of you maybe are taking the TOEIC test. If you are, and you are looking for some strategies to improve your score or to improve your test taking abilities, you can try taking a look at this cheat sheet. So I think you'll see it in just a moment. There it is. Good. So if you did not download this last week, please check it out this week. So if you are thinking about taking a test, of course, these are tips specifically for taking the TOEIC, but some of these tips might also be useful for taking other tests. So in general, these could be good test-taking tips. So if you would like this is totally free. Please check the link below the video on YouTube and above the video on Facebook. So you can get this for free. If you have an account on the website, you can download it for free right away. If you don't have an account, you can make an account, a free account in just a few seconds, and then you can download the PDF for free. So if you're thinking about registering for a test, please check that out. That could be very helpful for you. All right, good. I see a lot of people still coming in. Fantastic. Hi, everybody from Taiwan and Chile. Good. Okay, let's continue on though. So I want to move on to a few different kinds of tips then. If you are just joining us today too, the topic for today is some ways to stop procrastinating. So ways to keep your motivation up and ways to make sure you continue your studies throughout the year. So we've talked about it before, but a couple good points to review or some good live streams to review are, for example, our New Year's resolution live stream. That has some tips about how to make good goals for yourself. So good goals, I think, are important to your studies. So if you're just joining, that's today's topic. And of course, please make sure to hit the like button on Facebook and on YouTube. It's very helpful. So please give us a thumbs up. Other people will find the video. Okay, but let's move on to some other ways that you can maybe work to keep your motivation going. Another tip that I have that I use as well is having many people, actually many of you do this, many of you connect with each other this way, is using a diary or having a social media account that you can use and you can update every day. So there are a couple different reasons that I like this one and that I think that this is useful. So if you do this, it gives you a chance to connect with other people who are working towards the same goal. So for example, everybody in like the YouTube chat now and everybody in the Facebook chat now has a chance to connect with each other. And I can connect with you a little bit through live streams and through like Ask Alicia now too. So through social media now, we have the chance to connect. And through social media and through something like a diary or like everyday updates, you have the chance to actually create in English. You yourself can write or you yourself can make something in English. So it's a good opportunity to practice and maybe to get feedback. So that's one point about this. Second, you can follow people on like Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, whatever. Follow people who are sharing information about the thing you're interested in. So in this case, of course, you're watching this live stream. Thank you. So we're talking about English and like today's motivation and stuff like that. But if you're following people who often share good resources, those can be helpful for you. So it's just like these everyday small pieces of information that can help you as you work towards improving. So this can be a good tip, just something that you can do like between classes at university, for example, or just, sitting on the subway or the train, for example. So this can be a really good way to just take a few minutes every day to work towards your goal. So this is a nice way to make yourself do something every day, something small every day. So I use this actually. So for example, like if I do editing I do editing and like translation work. So I follow people who share articles or who share tips or who share things they learn in their jobs about editing or about translation. And then I gain knowledge from them. So I didn't talk to them directly, but they shared something useful for me. So in your case, if you're studying English or if you're studying something else, you can look for people who are sharing those resources and follow them. So that can be a really good way to kind of make connections with people, I think. Okay, and of course, if you have tips for your classmates, you can share them in the chat too. So if there's someone like that you follow on like Twitter or Facebook, I don't know, if you want to share that, of course, you can share that with your classmates in the comment section too. For sure. Okay. And of course, we hope you follow us on Twitter and on Facebook, because we share things on our Twitter feed and on our Facebook feed, like vocabulary points or like live streams, for example. So there are lots of good small daily resources like this that can help you keep your motivation up, I think. Okay, good. So since we're talking about media, then I want to move on to another tip that's it sort of mixes fun with study, I think. So I think another good tip for another good way to keep your motivation up is to focus on understanding like a specific TV show or movie, for example. So some of you have said like one of your goals is to understand like your favorite TV show in English, or to like be able to watch a movie in English with no subtitles. It's good. If you don't have that goal, like this can be a fun way to like practice at least. So if there's a piece of media, so that means TV show, it could mean a movie, for example. If there's something that you're interested in, or maybe your friends talk about a lot, it could be a good way to study and a fun way to keep your motivation up, to try to use something like this to practice. So oftentimes we find that like TV shows or movies use English language differently than like textbooks do. So you get to see or you get to hear as well many different kinds of speaking, I think, through like TV shows especially. So that can be a really useful way to listen to, like have exposure, to have a chance to listen to lots of different ways of speaking, different vocabulary choices, and it can be entertaining. So this is a fun thing to do. So that's fun for me. I like to do that. Like I pick a show on like Netflix or something that I like. As far as like English language shows though, that like people enjoy watching, I've heard the US TV show Friends was quite popular for a long time. Many people liked Friends because it's quite short. It's like 22 minutes. But it has like 6 main characters and then some other characters sort of that aren't main characters. But there are different styles of speaking, and it's funny, and so lots of people like to use that. I've also heard lots of people like to use Sex and the City. That's similar. It's kind of funny. There are a few main characters, 4 main characters. So depending on who you are and depending on your personality, you can find a TV show or a movie that can be interesting for you, and use that to study every day. Okay, so let's think then, since we're here, we have an opportunity to share, a chance to share with your classmates. Today's first question for you guys then, I hope you have some answers for this. I'm curious actually what you're interested in. What is an English TV show, an English language TV show or movie that you would like to be able to understand? Or maybe that you recommend for other people in their studies. So like I mentioned, I know many people like Friends or like Sex and the City. That's what I've heard before. Some of my students have told me that. So, but in your case, what is a TV show or a movie that you want to understand, or that you have used to study? Like, what have you studied with? Is there a TV show that you have enjoyed? Nashville. Camilla on Facebook says Nashville. I don't know Nashville. Is Nashville on Netflix? That sounds kind of familiar. Okay, so Nashville is a show. That's a show. New Girl. Oh yeah, New Girl is funny. New Girl is with Zooey Deschanel. Yeah, I've seen that before. New Girl is really funny. I think it's set in New York, but there are a lot of different speaking styles in that. And so that's a really good way to learn humor, for sure, and also like to see the different ways and like the different lifestyles that people have too. So New Girl for sure is really good. Family Guy is another one. Family Guy, okay, Family Guy is funny for sure if you're interested in like American humor. But the problem with Family Guy is, one, it's animated, so it's difficult to see the way that like the speakers are making the sounds. 1. 2, there are a lot of jumps in that show. So sometimes the jokes aren't related to like the plot, aren't related to the story. So sometimes that's a little bit difficult, but it's very entertaining. Okay. Pierre says Westworld. I haven't seen Westworld. That's the one that's like the futuristic cowboy show. Actually, I don't watch very much TV, honestly. What else? Did someone say 2.5 Men? Oh, yeah. Christian on Facebook says 2.5 Men. That's with Charlie Sheen. That's actually a good show, too. So that features 2.5 Men is the name of the show. That's a show that has as the main characters two adult men, and it's sort of their life story. And then there's the 2.5 refers to like a younger guy. So they have a child. There's a child in the family too. They have to take care of. So that's maybe a nice one for practicing like funny men's speech. But again, you have to kind of get a feel for the story, I think. Nice examples. Oh, someone said Prison Break. Prison Break. I haven't seen Prison Break actually either. I need to watch more TV. Okay, great. You guys have nice suggestions. Nice. Lost. Someone has suggested Lost. That is an interesting suggestion. So if you don't know the show Lost, Lost is like this epic story about people who are in a survival situation on an island, like a mysterious island, and they have to decide what to do. So that's an interesting one. Person of interest as well. I saw like one episode of that. Okay. But you guys have a lot of really good recommendations. So definitely, if you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on Twitter, YouTube, like check the chat. Like your classmates, the other people in the chat have some really good recommendations. So check that out for sure. Okay. Nice. All right. But let's take a break. Let's take another break. Break number 2 today. Again, if you missed it before, the first tip that we talked about for today in terms of keeping your motivation up was registering for a challenging test. So if you are planning to take a test this year, we have, which you'll see in just a second, we have this free PDF that's about taking the TOEIC. So these are strategies for taking the TOEIC test. So TOEIC is one example of a test that you can take to get an idea of your English level, your English skill level. So this PDF, it's for free. You can download it from the link below the video on YouTube or above the video on Facebook. And you can get it for free from the site. If you don't have an account on the site, you can make an account and get it for free. But if you're taking the TOEIC test, these could be some good hints for how to like take the test, how to make your time more effective. But if you're taking a different test, this could be a good kind of series of hints to help you. So check that out. If you're planning to take a test this year, that could be something useful to look at. Okay, let's pick it up. We have only like 8 more minutes left to go, not much time. So if you are just joining live, today the topic is how to stop procrastinating, or how to keep your motivation up throughout the year. So continuing our January theme of like goals and challenges, how do you continue your motivation throughout the year? Okay, so let's move on. And of course, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. It's very helpful for us. Other people can find the video. So, all right. Let's continue to my last 2 tips today. These are actually all things that I use, by the way. These are things from my experience that were helpful for me. Let's go on to the second to last tip, our penultimate tip. Penultimate means second to last. It's a fancy word. Okay. The next one is to enroll in a regular course. To enroll in a regular course. So enroll means like register for something. Enroll in a regular course like here. So by this I mean register for something you have to go to or you have to participate in regularly, meaning every week or like 2 times a week or maybe every day. So something that gives you like a pattern to follow. This can be really helpful. And I find personally, if I'm involved in a course, if I'm involved in like in an event or there's something where I have some responsibility, especially to my classmates or to a teacher, then I am more motivated to continue. So this is something quite good. So I know some of you have said like I don't have a course, or maybe like courses are really expensive or whatever. So of course there are digital options. I mean, many of you obviously know about our videos on YouTube and on Facebook. And of course, we have on our website courses that you can take and check out. So please check the website too. And I also mentioned at the beginning of today's lesson as well, if you have, for like smartphone, we have an app, the Daily Dose app is now available there, and it's on Alexa, so it's voice controlled too. So there are a lot of options. Like those are just the options from our company. So like if you want to like check out all of the stuff that's available like from our stuff, like our courses, please check that out. It's a great resource for you. So this is a really useful one because you do it like at the same time every day or the same time every week. So look around and see what is available in your community. And if you're not sure about something in your community, look for things digitally. So you can find many different resources, I think. So of course, if you want to check out our stuff, then definitely check the link in the description on YouTube, below the video, or above the video on Facebook. Okay, so that's that one. But let's move on to today's last hint, today's last idea, I hope, for keeping your motivation. Can I steal the mouse, Kyle? Sorry. Okay, we're sharing the mouse. All right, let's go to the last tip for today. My last tip for today, again, is one that I use a lot, and that's make your goal public. Make your goal public. You'll see it here in a second. So when I say make your goal public, I mean share your goal. So like tell people about your goal. What is the thing that you want to do? So if your goal, for example, is to give a business presentation in English this year, maybe tell your colleagues about it or tell your boss about it. So if you tell other people what you're trying to do, so if you share about the thing that you're trying to do, you might find, I have found, that people will say, okay, that's interesting, and like support you. You know, they know that you're trying to like run a marathon, for example, so they'll help you, or they'll listen to you if you're talking about your challenges maybe, and help you by giving advice or support, whatever that might be. So make your goal public. So make it easy to see your goal or share your goal with people. Of course, if it's like something you only want to tell a few people about, that's fine. But I've found that making goals public, even very small goals, really helps me to like keep my motivation up. So I do this if I don't have, in my case sometimes, like I'm like working at home, or I don't have like a friend nearby to talk to about something. I'll actually, sometimes I just use like Twitter to do this. I say like, okay, I'm going to do this today. Or even if it's like a recipe I want to make, I say, okay, I'm going to make this. And then somehow I feel like if I don't make that thing, or if I don't do that thing, like because I told somebody I was planning to do it, like I feel like I will have failed them in some way. So this is a really good one. So to make your goal public, or another way of thinking of this is to kind of create like a relationship, like an accountability relationship with someone. By that I mean like having a friend or having someone you can like who knows about your goal and maybe even shares your goal, and then you can work on that thing together. So I think that this is a really, really good one. So this is one, like I say, I like to use this one too. So those are a few tips from me for ways to keep your motivation up this year. So we've talked a lot this month about how to like set goals for yourself and thinking about new challenges, like new jobs as well, ways to think about moving forward into the future. So I hope that these are some useful tips that you can think about throughout the year, of course for your English studies, but also just in general for the like challenges that you're thinking about this year. All right. Yeah. And many of you are writing in the chats, like, I want to get good at speaking English this year. Fantastic. Sharab on Facebook says where to follow Learning English on the Facebook page. If you are watching on Facebook, there's a link on the like above the video for our page. It just says EnglishClass101.com. And if you're watching on YouTube also, you can check just the in like the description. There should be our channel name, EnglishClass101.com. Just click that and you can subscribe and you can follow us and get our updates on both Facebook and on YouTube. So yeah, please follow us. Great. But we are out of time for today, so I have to end, unfortunately. But I appreciate you joining us as always this week. So I hope that those were some helpful tips for you as well. But we have to wrap up. We have to finish for today. So we'll be back next week with a new topic. Next week's topic, we're going to change from like this very beginning of the year sort of thing. So we're going to talk about like internet and texting words. So you might have seen, like, for example, you might see like native English speakers using like this sort of thing, like LOL, or like this one, BRB, that sort of thing. So we're going to talk about these next week. So things that are useful for you, and things you might see like when you're talking with your friends, and also things that you can use in like business emails as well. So that's our focus for next week. So please join us next week. So that's going to be January 31st, Wednesday, January 31st, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's New York City time. And I believe that's 7:30 in the morning in India on Thursday, 9 o'clock in the morning in Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia, 6 p.m. in Mexico City on Wednesday night, and midnight in Brazil on Thursday morning, technically. So I hope those are the correct times. Correct me if I'm wrong, but 30 minutes before now, essentially, if you're watching live. So next week is going to be internet and texting words. So I hope that that's going to be useful. It's actually kind of interesting and fun too. We'll talk a little bit about some slang as well. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much for joining in, for liking the video, for sharing the video, and for sending your ideas. Some people are still sending ideas, which is nice too. Of course, check out the free TOEIC PDF on the website. You can download that right after I finish. So please go download that. Please check that out, especially if you're thinking about taking a test this year. So that's it from me this week. Thank you guys again. I hope you have a great day, a great night, and a great week. I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.